I'm Lee Ferran.
And I'm Michael Marrow.
Michael, we're here on the last day of AFA in scenic National Harbor.
That's right.
In Maryland. Officials have been pretty tight-lipped so far at this show. We haven't seen a ton of news from people you would expect to be newsmakers. That changed a little bit today with a senior Air Force official out of the Middle East.
Right, so that was Lieutenant General Derek France. He's Air Force's Central Commander. He gave some updates about recent events in the Middle East. Most interesting is Israel's strike on Doha.
Sure, this happened on September 9th. This was a sneak attack that targeted Hamas figures in the capital of Qatar, to the surprise of the Qataris, certainly, and to the U.S.
Right, so it's an interesting situation for the U.S. to be in because Qatar is also home to a U.S. airbase, very important in the region. And I asked General France about his concerns and continued access to Qatar because there's a lot of questions about what would happen to the U.S. relationship after that. And he said he's not concerned and that military-to-military relationships can be kind of resilient through political headwinds that crop up.
But he said he also revealed that as far as the strike itself, President Donald Trump has said that they didn't know about it until the Israelis called. The general seemed to say that, frankly, all the U.S. sensing capabilities in the region weren't looking in the right direction.
Right, yeah. I thought this was a pretty interesting comment because I asked him about what kind of operational insights he gleaned from this strike. And he said, just kind of overall awareness of the region, that a lot of their sensing capabilities are directed at places like Iran, where they anticipate attacks to come from, and they just didn't expect it in this case. So that was kind of a lesson for U.S. forces in the region.
So maybe not looking in the right direction, but just not the direction they were expecting to have an attack come from, I would say.
Exactly.
So now we'll go for the second piece of news from today. It's about as far away as you can get from the Middle East into outer space.
Right. So this is something that our colleague Teresa published a story on today, and that's the requirement for on-orbit refueling.
This is refueling of satellites that are already out in space, something we don't currently do.
Right. So up until now, there wasn't a requirement for that. And because of that, there are a lot of questions about the business case for those kinds of services. So that requirement is now going to be included for the replacement for the GSAP satellites. Those are the neighborhood watch kind of satellites.
Satellites to keep a lookout for other satellites in orbit.
Right. Yeah. Keeping tabs on things up in outer space. So there are a lot of implications with that, not just for on-orbit refueling, which enables you to maneuver satellites more freely and stuff like that, but there are other things you can do with that kind of capability, broadly known as rendezvous and proximity operations.
If you can get close to another satellite to refuel it, and maybe get close enough to it to do other stuff, maybe poke it out of orbit, who knows what. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So this is something we're definitely going to keep an eye on. It will be very important for industry going.
As we kind of shut down here, I know you're not done. You've got more to do, but what do you feel like? How is AFA this year, AFA 2025?
I've covered this show for many years now, and this was definitely a little bit more subdued.
Yeah.
Different than in the spring when, Doge shit and a lot of people couldn't show up. But a lot of officials were here, but you felt a kind of pressure that maybe they couldn't say as much as they might have wanted to. In large part because there's a lot of uncertainty at the top. We don't know who's going to replace General Alvin, the Air Force Chief of Staff. We don't know who the Air Force number 2 is going to be. There's a lot of uncertainty in the acquisition world.
So no one wants to get ahead of the Pentagon.
Exactly. So, which also is imposing restrictions on Pentagon officials' ability to speak at events like this. So all of these things are combined to create a strange environment, frankly.
That's not to say there weren't any stories. We published a ton of stories on breakingdefense.com. Make sure to go there and get the latest. And that's not even to say that Michael's done here. You got some stuff coming up, more reporting to be done.
It's late in the day, but I've still got some interviews left, so keep an eye out for those.
He's very excited to be here. Until next time.